Hello, friends. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Help us get the word out. Be interactive throughout. Leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
Yeah, you can find us, Ray Benny Sports. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, Ray's favorite, TikTok.
Since we last talked, I spent approximately 0 minutes on TikTok.
Good job. Right on.
I'll get better.
Yeah, go on there to post some videos. That's about it.
Oh, actually, no, that's wrong. Why would I lie like that? There's some new videos on TikTok, and I went through them. Sorry,
okay.
I didn't mean like I was. I was on TikTok, but I wasn't looking at other stuff on TikTok. I go on TikTok to look at Ray and Betty content.
There you go.
But
that's what everyone should use TikTok for.
See what you did there? We got some NHL talk. We got some Winnipeg Jets talk. And of course, we got some NFL and Super Bowl talk and Super Bowl predictions. But let's start off with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the upcoming CFL free agency in a week. This is the legal tampering week. It's funny because like when you say tampering, it's not really legal, but it's like what do you call that? Oxymoron?
Yeah, pretty much.
Tampering.
I forgot it was a week long. I thought it was only a few days.
It's like saying dry water.
Yeah.
I don't know. So let's start with Bomber CFL talk. Last week, you were concerned that your boy Nick Demski might not be signed, might be hitting the market. And luckily, in the past 24 hours, he has been signed.
Yeah, fantastic news for the Bombers. Kyle Walters must have watched our video and he's like, okay, I'll get this done just for Benny.
See.
Pretty good contract for Demski, 3-year deal, 190 apparently a year. High end there. So, but it's great to have him back in the fold. The guy is such a dynamic player. And of course, you've already seen the comments out on Twitter about, can you stay healthy kind of thing. It's like, you weren't letting this guy go. And when he stays, even when he's not healthy, he still puts up a dynamic season. So yeah, of course, any player, let's keep them healthy. Like any of these guys that the Bombers have signed so far this offseason, injuries are big for football. So yeah, if he stays healthy, even if he does half a season, I expect big things out of Demski.
Oh, he'll get more half season. Shout out to our friend Zach over at Bonfire Sports. Not to piggyback on Bonfire Sports, just to give a shout out. He had a great question online. Is Nick Demski at this point Circle of Fame? What do you call it again? What do they have again?
Hall of Fame?
No, the thing around the stadium.
Ring of Honor?
Yeah, or is he Ring of Honor worthy?
Oh yeah. For sure.
See, I said if you're looking at hometown stories, yes. If you're looking at strictly stats and production, no. As a receiver, he has not had a 1,000-yard receiving season yet. And if he has a couple more seasons like he is, combined over 1,000 yards, then yes, with more touchdowns. But as of right now, I don't think so.
But even in those non-1,000-yard seasons, how many yards of rushing has he thrown in there as well, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Especially with the Bombers, right? I mean, he's done dual threat kind of thing. Like he was Deebo Samuel before Deebo was almost, with the Niners kind of thing, right? So yeah, I do agree with that. He needs to put up the same kind of numbers over the next few seasons. Like if you were to stop now and get 200 yards a season for the next 3, then yeah, no. But if he's on the trajectory that he is, I fully expect him to be in there by the end of it.
Do you think Troy Westwood will be on there one day?
I don't know. I'm kind of surprised he's not. I mean, he was around for a long time. Is he still the leading point getter in Bomber history? Oh, I know it's just a lot of kicking.
More than Milt?
Points wise, was he? Or did Milt pass him after?
Possibly. I don't know. We should look into that.
Remember.
Put that in the comments if y'all know.
I would expect Troy at some point. Is Kennard up there?
Troy doesn't have, there's no place kicker up there yet.
Yeah. Troy I would expect Kennard first then.
Troy doesn't have a ring.
Points though. I mean, you don't want to talk about that Grey Cup in 2001 again, right?
I'm over it, but you don't have to delve into it because he missed a couple.
Yes, 3, I think.
Well, that's more than a couple.
yes.
Let's talk about it. Let's. We've wavered off the path. We don't. Yeah, Troy Westwood, shout out. He's also great. Of the Bombers that we have now, is there someone that you're really looking to hope that they sign back? Is someone going to take a discount? I'm looking at Nick Taylor. I really want Nick Taylor to stay. I think he's a versatile DB. Like Donald Rutledge was great last year. Mercy Masson is also a great football player that can play DB and LB, but I'd really like to see Nick Taylor come back.
Yeah, those two guys are probably at the top of the list for me as well. Both are coming off Achilles injuries, right? So maybe they can get them I don't know if they're all both fully healthy yet or not, because Nick Taylor was hurt halfway through the season last year.
Yes, sir.
Banjobo, actually, I think. So, yeah, if they can get him for a good deal, I wouldn't mind bringing those guys back. And maybe they can, because they're not, maybe not other teams not going to sign them at this point in free agency because they're both coming off injuries. The next level for me would probably be a wide receiver. If they can get Bailey back for a good cost, then sure. But if you looked at it, his stats, I know Demski played less games, but his stats were close to Demski's. So he could be looking at that same kind of payday. And I don't think the Bombers have that amount of cash to give to another receiver as well. So the big thing that hinges to me is if Dalton Schoen is coming back. If he's coming back, then we're not in bad shape there, but we definitely need to look at a different wide receiver as well.
February 14th is the day that we know. If he's not signed by then, he's back with the Bombers.
Yeah, which is good because that's when free agency also starts, right? Or is it the 13th that free agency starts?
It starts on the 13th, so the day after.
So day after. Kind of sucks. You think they do it the day before?
Yeah, but I'm sure he's like, yo, you gave me the opportunity, I'll be loyal. But who knows how much money they have left in the cap?
Yeah, but he's already signed, right? He doesn't need another contract. So
that's right.
So So I guess the Bombers aren't going to go on that first day of free agency and dump another bunch of cash on a wide receiver anyways, right? Unless somehow you can get Kenny Lawler back, or from Saskatchewan there, what's his name? Kyron Moore. Shaq Evans might be a bit of a head case, but Kyron Moore wouldn't be a bad deal either if that goes down to it.
You know who might be a good deal? Kamara Jordan.
Yeah.
I think they might be a good one. They have Reggie Begelton, but I think Kamara Jordan will be a nice addition. Darrell Walker's, I don't know.
Head case. I don't know if you really want him.
You said it, not me. But Case of Sales is rumored or said to be hitting market. That would be an unfortunate loss. He's great on the D line, versatile as an end and a defensive tackle, which would be my concern going into free agency with the Bombers, a defensive tackle.
Yeah, if they lose Sales, D line, defensive tackle, that's their biggest thing. They obviously got Jeffcoat and Jefferson on the edges. Yeah, but they're going to need someone else in there. Who's the other guy down on that? Thomas, right?
They have Jake Thomas.
So they're good there. So yeah, Sales, and we saw what having Kongbo, Richardson in that D line did for the Bombers in those Grey Cup wins. Man, they were huge, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, you need a guy there. You need some depth there, and hopefully they can bring someone else in there, because that's probably where you almost got to spend your money.
Absolutely, you got to win the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
you got to win the line of scrimmage. So let's talk about free agents out there. Big time pause for no reason. That the Bombers that you'd like to either see them target, or who'd you like to see in Winnipeg?
Yeah, I kind of mentioned this Kyron Moore. Yeah, I wouldn't mind him. Otherwise, Bombers do need someone. If they can get Ellingson back for a good price, when he played last year, he was good. Right?
On pace for 1,200 yards.
Exactly. And he was almost a security blanket when they're close to the end zone. That touchdown, big body guy there.
Yeah.
So again, going back to that one, if they can bring him back, if not, Kyron Moore, start looking at, there's a lot of wide receivers out there that are actually free agents.
Yeah.
That they can pick up and probably get for a decent price. D-line, like we just talked about, we need someone in there. I don't know a lot about some of these guys out there.
Well, D-line, let me tell you about D-line. I had D-line pegged big time with an asterisk, and there's two guys who I'd like to see in Winnipeg. We got a young Canadian, S.A. Marabure. He's 6'4", 285, that could really plug the middle, because we knew in a couple games, especially against Calgary, that the Bombers were a bit soft against that run. And I think a big guy like that in the middle can help, So I'd love to see that guy in Winnipeg solidify the middle of the D-line. And also, if I'm looking for a vet to solidify and maybe go for a cup, why not Ted Laurent from Hamilton? Sorry, Ted Laurent from Hamilton. Also a Canadian, a veteran, though, on the other side of his career, not like Marabure. I'll get it right one day. Names. So if he
once he signs with the Bombers, right?
I'll learn it. If he wants to make a strong chase for the cup, he wouldn't come cheap, but maybe he'd take a little bit of a discount to chase the cup with Winnipeg. So those are the two guys, D-line, you mentioned, that I'd love to see the Bombers go after.
Yeah, Laurent might be. I mean, Hamilton, you're spending a good deal on Bo Levi right now, right? So you're almost going to have to skip. There's rumors of them possibly going after Eugene Lewis, which we'll probably talk about in a bit. Yeah. So that's not going to be cheap either. So they may have to cut in other places or not sign back guys. So yeah, Ted Laurent would be a good one. He's always done very well. He might be looking to get that ring and, maybe it's not in Hamilton, maybe it is, but maybe it's in Winnipeg for sure.
Yeah,
but D-line's big.
The thing is, the Grey Cup is in Hamilton this year, so maybe he might feel like, oh, I gotta try one more for getting at home. And we got Bo Levi Mitchell, which I have no. I still don't find that to be an appealing move.
I like it better than the options that they had, but we don't know if it's going to be Bo Levi of the first part of the season when he was playing, or Bo Levi of the West semifinal when he came in and looked good for a bit. You know, like he looked terrible early in the season against Calgary or with Calgary. I mean, so
I wouldn't put money on him being good over a long season for the full season. I think Dane Evans would have a better season all the way through if they put maybe another because they got their Canadian running back now, that frees them up a little. If they hit the market with a wide receiver and maybe get someone like Couture or someone to help in their O-line that didn't look too well, they're not far off. And I don't think they should have spent $500,000 on. I don't know.
No, I mean, they just played the Bombers in the Grey Cup before that, right? And last year just wasn't a good year for them. Evans struggled. The O-line struggled. They didn't have enough wide receivers out there. You know, they had Tim White, right? So who is also a free agent. So so right now they really don't have anyone else that I can think of, because Dunbar, I think, is also a free agent.
Yes.
So they got
their defense are free agents.
So Bo Levi is not going to all of a sudden make you a Grey Cup contender when you lose 10 other guys.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
you're losing a core. You're losing a nucleus of people who've been to the chip before, not won it, but been there. I don't know. So let's go to this CFL signings by other teams and who should possibly be targets for other teams, what positions, what players. Let's start with the BC Lions. Let's go from west to east. They have a pretty solid roster. They're not making too many changes. They probably won't hit the free agency market. Is there anything they should be really looking to patch up? Do they stay inside at home?
Yeah, I mean, we had issues. They were going into the season with their O-line last year, right? And it looked good, mainly because Rourke was very quick at getting the ball out and that. So I wouldn't mind seeing them shore up that a little bit. It might be better for Vernon Adams to have more time in the pocket, because he takes a little bit more time processing his plays compared to what Rourke did. And just finding a replacement for Burnham.
Yeah. I'd like to see them just stay home and re-sign that tackle, Joe Figueroa. But keep that consistency there at least, especially for the quarterback. I think that would be a priority there.
The one thing is there's not many tackles out there on the free agency market, so that guy is probably going to get paid.
Well, you might as well do. Well, we'll see. They have the highest paid receiver in the league, so we'll see if they're able to pay him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If they're going to pay him, like, do it now before he gets out there. And now he's already tampering period, right? He can find out what other teams are possibly offering him. So
the market.
Yeah.
Who do you got for Edmonton?
They just signed AC Leonard. I like that move. It helps their defense quite a bit. It's the offense that I'm still not sold on.
For sure.
Who knows with Cornelius and Ford for one thing, but now you're also Lawler's still a free agent. Darrell Walker's probably gone. So you're going to need, I expect them to possibly go into that wide receiver market to help these guys out. And plus running back too, with Wilder gone.
Yeah. I see them going for Eugene Lewis, at least making a push. I think Cornelius is the guy. Give them a weapon. He's a good, big, mobile quarterback. They'll give him a chance, I think, to play with Trey Ford right there. But yeah, I think they go for Eugene Lewis. How about the Calgary Stampeders?
I don't know. They're a tough one. Their whole line is solid, so they don't need anything there. Maybe someone to go with Malik Henry, wide receiver, or shore up that DB spot.
Yeah, I got Tim White. I'd like to see them get a dynamic receiver that can take the ball big over the top, or can take a small play and get big yardage out of it. Yeah, I think they're a good safety blanket for Meier too.
Yeah, they're bringing back a pretty solid team for the most part. They got their O-line, Derek Dennis signed, so I think they've got 4 guys there at least that they've signed. So
we got Saskatchewan looking to sign Trevor Harris, so quarterback might not be an issue. So if you put quarterback aside, or maybe you still have quarterback, what would you see them doing?
O-line. I mean, their biggest issue last year was O-line, and you could say it was Fajardo's fault, or they fired the coach too, or the coaching's fault. But if you're going to bring in Trevor Harris, yes, he is got a quick release, but he's not a mobile guy. So you're going to have to get that offense humming for him. And we saw in Montreal, when they had quick releases in games, he would do very well. But when he was under pressure or behind in a game, he struggled to get back into it. So O-line for me, also, it seems like they're losing a bunch of wide receivers. They're also rumored to go in heavy for Eugene Lewis. So they'll need someone for Harris to throw to.
Well, Trevor Harris, at least they have a rhythm. It's mind-boggling that they just put your pride away and they should have had Cody Fajardo sign a couple of weeks ago, but stupidity.
It sounds like they're going heavy on Harris and Eugene Lewis, man. And that's not going to fix you. Yeah.
No, it's pride. No. Go get Couture. Go solidify the middle of your line there. And
funny thing is Fajardo is still willing to sign there. Well, I don't know what's up with that guy.
Harris is because he's loyal and he wants to, he knows that he has something there if he just get an O-line. Stupid Saskatchewan. It's a clown show. O'Day and Dickinson do not know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing.
This is their last year to kind of get it together, and they know might as well go out with a bang, I guess. Sign all these guys. I don't know.
Yeah,
aging guys.
If it wasn't for that coaching administration, whatever football ops salary, they for sure would have been let go.
Yeah.
If any sane board in Saskatchewan would have an opportunity to let them go, they should have already.
Yeah. But I don't even understand Eugene Lewis. Why would you go into that situation? If you're going to have other options, there's going to be teams that are going to try and pay you money. Even if you can get 30,000 more or 20,000 more in Saskatchewan, do you really want to go into that situation?
No,
I don't know. You think you'd want to win, but it's just like Lawler going to the Elks last year, right?
Yeah,
he had better options. He probably would have been better off even in BC, but kind of went for the money, which is fine too. But you're not going to win very many games.
Anyways, we covered Winnipeg. Or do you have anything else to say about Winnipeg on this?
No, I expect them to probably be fairly quiet in free agency anyways and kind of
absolutely
rummage around the bargain bin.
Yeah, I see them letting Danny McManus and Ted Govea do their magic again, bringing some solid young import talent. I'm really looking forward to what's his name? Brandon O'Leary Orange. Mm-hmm. Orange O'Leary?
O'Leary. O'Leary.
Oh, boo. Look, his initial, his BOO, boo.
Boo.
So, nice. But don't boo him. Don't boo him. So let's talk about the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I think they should stay at home, go for Cameron Kelly. I think that, that DB/linebacker position is really becoming a valuable position in the CFL. Not that it hasn't been before, but really in this era of the game, it's a huge position. So Cameron Kelly, I think they should stay with him, sign him, make sure he's signed.
Yeah, so they've re-signed Schultz. They got their backup. They still got Dane Evans there swinging in the wind, I guess. I don't know what they're doing with him. Sean Thomas Erlington resigned, so they're good at running back. But wide receiver, I think they got an issue there. And if you have Bo Levi Mitchell, you got to have these receivers. Bo Levi was obviously very good, but Calgary also had some good receivers in his time there, right? So
absolutely,
he's going to need guys. And maybe Eugene Lewis is the place for him to go. And that would be, he'd fit well with Bo Levi.
You think Kamar Jordan with Bo Levi previous, what do you call it, connection? Do you think that's a good destination maybe?
Yeah, it could be, because I mean, you're probably not doing Tim White and Eugene Lewis. They probably both want some good money, right? So you're gonna have to bring in some big players, and Kamar Jordan had pretty good years with Bo Levi. So
yeah,
I would like that. Well, I mean, I would rather him come to the Bombers, but it'd be a good move for Hamilton.
We'll see. Ottawa Redblacks just re-signed Arbuckle. I don't understand. Like, this guy has had every opportunity. He's not a very good backup. I would have gone with Caleb Evans. Give him more of an opportunity to develop with a better O-line and a better receiving core. So I have no idea why they re-signed that guy, but I think they should get some D-line help too. And they have that guy in Hamilton, Julian Houseair, 7 sacks, young guy, gets at the quarterback, good motor. I think they should bring him to help Lorenzo Malden. Like, they're like top of the league in sacks anyways, but you bring that guy in, it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree with the Arbuckle signing. It was kind of perplexing, especially with Caleb Evans out there. Caleb, he also filled in a spot where the rushing quarterback, like tons of touchdowns from the one and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, bringing him back, sign again. Go back to the O-line here. They signed a bunch of guys last year. It didn't work out. Drew Desjarlais is a good start, but they still have some holes there. And if you're bringing Mazzoli back for next season, you want to give him some protection. They need someone to also pair with Acklin, a wide receiver. You can't expect him to just do it all himself again.
Yeah, they'll probably push for Eugene Lewis.
Like you said, there's tons of wide receivers out there. Like
Or
even
Tim White.
Tim White, yeah. Tim White could go there. Like there's
Dunbar.
quite a bit. So
Hamilton
Dunbar
again.
Yeah. So I don't know what Hamilton's doing. You're letting everyone go and then seeing what you can get. Like I don't know.
That's what happens when you have a $500,000 quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve Dunbar, like even on this list in Third Down Nation, he's 14 out of top 35 free agents.
It's perplexing.
Which they did not put Bailey on this list, was kind of surprising. So there's another receiver that's out there, Rasheed Bailey, Ellingson. There's guys out there.
Absolutely. That's the thing. Yeah. How about Montreal? We haven't even mentioned Kelly Lawler for a while since we talked about Edmonton. Montreal, I think they obviously need a receiver. They'll have to go big money with either Kenny Lawler or Tim White. They have to, and maybe go for Cody Fajardo.
Yeah, that's the main one I got on there too. Cody Fajardo. Where else is this guy going to go at this point? And Montreal, you have an opening there. Jason Moss, though, that's the only thing. He was his coach last year, so it depends how he feels about him. Not just his coach last year, but maybe he feels that Fajardo wasn't the problem and he can get it together. But
yeah,
depends how that dynamic was, right? So, but ownership issues there seem to be causing problems, which is not helping, guys like Harris. Because Harris, he's been with Moss before. This really is the perfect spot for him in that thing. But he's like, at the same time, do you really want to stick around a team that's ownership? You don't know what's going on.
That's crazy. Come on,
Which sucks for the CFL, obviously.
Yeah, that commissioner. Yeah. That's another show. That's another show where we talk about the commissioner. Let's move on to the NHL and the Winnipeg Jets.
Whoa. Did we do the Argonauts?
I thought we did the Argonauts.
No, I don't. Did we? No, I don't think so.
Okay. I have Jaguar Davis for the Argonauts. Only because this guy's been in Grey Cup after 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 Grey Cup. 6 in a row. So sign him. Don't mess with that. Sorry about that, Argos fans.
Yeah, they're going to need a quarterback. Who are they going with? MBT says he wants to play, and he only wants to play in Toronto if he sticks with the CFL.
Yeah.
But do you stick with Chad Kelly and let MBT walk somewhere? So it'd be interesting to see what they do there. But yeah, otherwise, Toronto to me they've signed a bunch of guys back, Curly Gittins and all that stuff. So they seem set in quite a few places.
Have they signed that Canadian running back who I can't.
The one that came in last year when Harris was hurt. Oh yeah, what was his name?
That guy runs with just he's like a sandlot running back.
Yeah. Ouellette, was it?
There you go, bro. You got it. Ouellette, the running back. He's a free agent coming up, isn't he?
Yeah.
They better sign him.
Yeah, well,
they have to sign him.
I guess that's another position they would need because who knows what's happening with Harris. I think Harris was only a 1-year deal last year, right?
And he could retire.
Yeah, and I don't think they'd be paying him that same amount anymore. So
give Ouellette the money. Give Ouellette the money. Friends, put your CFL free agency predictions, issues, worries, angers, concerns in the comments below. Now let's move on to the NHL. Winnipeg Jets don't play until Saturday the 11th. They play the Chicago Blackhawks. No, let's not even talk about the All-Star game. Actually, you know what? Let's talk a little thing about the All-Star game. Did you hear this thing about your boy Dominic Hasek criticizing the NHL for allowing? You didn't hear about this?
No.
This guy went on a tweet about how that you're celebrating Russia in some kind of way and you shouldn't be giving Ovi a platform when his son did that breakaway goal. You didn't hear about this Dominic Hasek. He's turning crazy, man.
I guess. I mean, in a way, there's always talk about, should Ovechkin even be playing? Should he be allowed into Canada? All that crap. But
yeah.
And then, I never even thought of it that way, that you allow his son to go out there and kind of be the star of the show or whatever. So
I don't have a huge concern with the kid. I think Dominic Hasek needs to be just chill, man. I get it. You're upset and it's a horrible situation there, but don't put the kid or don't use the kid as part of your argument. Dominic Hasek.
No.
Oh, yeah. Any which way, let's talk about the Winnipeg Jets. I just had to bring that up. Weird, I know. Winnipeg Jets trade rumors still going out there. Are there any ones that are really intriguing to you that you would really love to see? We've heard about Jonathan Toews. We've talked about Nick Ritchie. Chekrin, I think, right? Seems to be moving to Toronto.
Everyone's going to Toronto.
Yeah, of course. Any which way. So, is there any other vibes out there that you'd be like, "Yo, I'd really like to see this happen"?
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, the biggest one for me, and he's been talked about, bandied about, is Timo Meier,
Yeah,
San Jose. The guy would obviously be expensive,
yeah,
but he would be fantastic to bring that kind of firepower into this offense and into that top six, man.
yeah. He would be a force.
The amount that they possibly would have to give up, though, you'd also have to sign this guy, and that's probably a $10 million a year contract.
Yeah,
So is he coming in then to take over kind of Dubois' spot, right? Because you're obviously not going to have enough money to sign Dubois afterwards.
yeah,
But some of the trade deals, Murat Ates of the Athletic had a couple proposals, and it was expensive. It was like a first rounder in all these ones for sure, and then either Rutger McGorty, Brad Lambert, Chaz Lucius, Billy Hainala, and then another one with Logan Stanley, Dylan Sandberg. So you're giving up a lot for this guy,
yeah.
But I don't know. He's pretty worth it, but I don't know if I still want to give up 3 basically first rounders.
Nope. Not no, I would not give it up for him. No way. The one that I like hearing, and I know it probably won't happen because there are a few teams looking for him. I like the Max Domi buzz.
That's the other one I had on my list. Yeah.
as center or wing, his versatility. He has 35 points in 48 games. He's a little bit of a grinder. He brings a little bit of edge that the Jets don't have. His defensive game isn't prime, but hey, he's coming to rig bonus in a system that really preaches offensive responsibility on the defensive end, so you can push on the turn back once you get the puck in your own end. So yeah, I'd really like to see the Max Domi one happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that one either. I'd put him probably in the third of those lists. Like if you can somehow get Timo Meier, I'd put him at the top. Taves probably next. But what I was reading today, even for Max Domi, you're maybe looking at a third rounder, as maybe the starter kind of thing, or even that's enough. Like that's not a bad deal if you can get him for third rounder. Because then he fills in your top 9, but he can also possibly pop into that top 6 if you need it as well, right?
Yeah.
So,
and he's good on the penalty kill.
Yeah. So, and like you say, he can pop in some points.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
He's still a bit of a pain in the arse that you kind of need in the playoffs, right? So,
have you heard this Gustav Nyquist trade rumor from Columbus as a possibility? Not really a trade rumor, but someone that maybe the Jets should be targeting as a bottom 6 player, possibly playing with bigger players like Lowry and Appleton.
Yeah, the only thing is I think he's out for the season.
Is he out for this season?
Could be back for the playoffs, possibly. I believe
it would be a rental. That's right.
So it would be a risky move, but yeah, maybe you can get him for a low round pick. Obviously,
definitely would be.
But if that's the case, yeah, why not bring him in? And if he comes into the playoffs, all of a sudden his salary doesn't count against the cap. Good old Tampa Bay. So
they are good at that. They are good at that.
It's time for other teams to do it as well. I mean, Chicago did it, I guess, once with Patrick Kane.
Yeah. Any other names out there that kind of intrigue you?
Yeah, there's one more today that I saw and on a rumor site, and it was Tyler Bertuzzi from Detroit.
Oh,
I don't know what the price would cost for the guy at all, but he could definitely fill in that top 6 as well.
Yeah.
And again, that top 9, and it kind of frees up. I know Perfetti's had a pretty good season, but you don't know. He's never played 82 games plus going into the playoffs, right? Absolutely. So you don't know what kind of wall he could possibly hit. So if you got another guy that you can kind of pop into that top 6 and Perfetti in the top 9 somewhere, it'd be great to have, because right now you don't have it. It's like what, Stenlund up there, or Carson Coleman's like in the top 6. So got to add some depth there somehow.
Friends, don't forget to put your wants, needs, wishes, intrigues in free agency. Winnipeg Jets fans, or free agency.
That's not yet.
The trade market coming up with the trade deadline coming up March 3rd. So still a lot of time. March 3rd?
Yeah.
March 3rd. Still a lot of time, but action already starting. Before we move on to the NFL and the Super Bowl, I just want to address Sidney Crosby's comment on possibly how he thinks the playoffs can be improved by going back to the 1-8 playoff format. I've been crying this for years, so I agree. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree too. I've kind of stuck to this one system they have now. I like that it's like division rivalries and all that, but it's getting to the point where teams are getting knocked out probably in the second round when they should be having a chance to make the conference final, which then makes the conference final better, right?
Absolutely.
So I do agree with him. 1 to 8, reseed after every round. Top team always plays the lowest team. And I mean, you should be some reward for finishing first in an 80-game season, right?
Totally. Like that opinion of mine was cemented in that Winnipeg-Nashville playoff series. Like that would have been a wicked West final, but they beat each other up in the Central Division final. And not who, Vegas was hot. They're playing good too, but they got a pretty beat up Winnipeg team, and who pretty much played like the toughest series right there.
Yeah, Winnipeg ran out of gas after game 1. Vegas was probably sitting there the whole time watching that series. Going,
yeah, beat each other up. Go game 7.
Subban cross-check that guy again.
Yeah, please go to a game 7. I know it didn't, but still. So yes,
it did. Nashville Jets. That went to a game 7.
Was it 6?
No, it was 7.
Was it 7?
Yeah,
at home.
Jets had a chance to win it, but went back to Nashville.
Oh, that's right.
And the game was just over. What's his name? Didn't have a very good game. Oh, I can't remember the goalie's name now. Oh,
Pecorine.
Yes, that's it. How did I forget him?
Pecorine. Let's move on to the NFL and the Super Bowl. Oh, friends, do you think we should go back to a 1-8 playoff format? Both of us do. Should long overdue. The novelty of the division thing and rivalries. This is worn off a long time ago.
Yeah.
NFL Super Bowl. Here's a question for you. QBs aside, which players, one from each team, hopefully will be a difference maker in the Super Bowl? Let's start with KC.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with their offense and go with Kelsey. Travis Kelce. He's got to have a big game. He's got to be that. And I know he's a good player. Obviously, he's a superstar in that league. But without Tyreek Hill, they've lost a dynamic guy. So now you're relying on a bunch of other receivers, which is not the greatest of a core. A lot of hurt guys that can't even finish games. Juju, Kadarius Toney. And then you got Pacheco and McKinnon as running backs. So it's not the greatest there. Pacheco's getting better as the season goes. So Travis Kelce, to me, needs to help carry that offense a little bit more, especially with Mahomes ailing. So he's got to play probably one of his best games.
Nice. I'm gonna go defense with KC, and I'm of course gonna go with Chris Jones. A couple episodes ago, we talked about how Hurts was like a bottom 10 quarterback when he's being pressured and on the move, while he's top 5 in a clean pocket. So I think Chris Jones really needs to be a disruptor there. Can't let Hurts get comfortable. Can't let him get in the rhythm. And I think he also needs to stop Miles Sanders. He's having a pretty good playoffs.
Yeah. And season altogether.
Yeah. So I think he really needs to have one of those games where he shuts down everything on the line. I think he could be a big difference maker there. Who do you got for Philadelphia?
There, I'm going D-line again, and the guy who basically disrupted the whole Niner game and helped them win that game fairly easily, Hassan Reddick. If he can have the same impact, minus say the QB injury that he had in that Niner game, like he was a force. If he can have that same impact, he will get Mahomes maybe on the run, and Mahomes is probably not 100%, even if he's not on the injury report. So if you can have him chase around, run around a bit, you probably got a pretty good chance of winning at that point.
I'm going to switch it on you then. I'm going to go for offense. I think we're looking at Dallas Goedert being a big time player or a difference maker, because they're going to try and lock down Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. And it's what happens in the middle of the field there. If Goddard can get open and extend those drives and get those first downs with Hurts and get into a rhythm, I think that opens up the game for Philadelphia. Opens up Miles Sanders even for the passing game there. If you can have linebackers concentrating on Goddard, or the running game, I should say, if you can concentrate on Goddard. So I'm going to say it's a weird one, and I get it. He's not the best tight end in the league. He's no Kelsey. Don't get me wrong. But I think if he could be steady and find the openings in that KC defense, I think he could be a big difference maker.
Yeah, the one thing that the Niners did really good on defense that game was shutting down Devonta Smith and AJ Brown for the most part. Devonta had that big one catch and really nothing else. AJ Brown didn't have much, and it was really more of the running game, that had more of an impact. So, like you say, if that can open up, if KC can do the same thing, Dallas Goedert's got to kind of take a big step in that game and help them move the ball, because we'll see if they can just run the ball like they did against the Niners for the most part, right? So.
Yeah.
different game plan you might need here. And especially if KC gets hot, I know the Eagles have a good D, but that KC offense, if it gets hot, it gets hot.
If KC wins, are they dynasty mode?
Yeah, I think so. They would have to win again next year, though, for me. Because then you're what, 3 in 5 years at that point. So winning one, losing one. Hey,
5 AFC championships.
Yeah,
in a row.
Well, that they've that they've played in, right? I mean, yes. They lost last year's AFC championship.
They've been in 5 AFC championships in a row.
Yeah,
and they're 1-1 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I think if they win that one more coming up, I think that cements them as a dynasty.
Don't you need at least 3 to kind of be considered as a dynasty mode?
I don't think so. Not when you have those 5 AFC championships.
Yeah, I think they'd still need to win one more,
especially with the movement of players and people coming in and leaving, and you just lost your best offensive weapon other than Kelsey.
One more. They'll need one more.
All right. Agree to disagree. Let's go into Super Bowl predictions then. Talking about winning their next one. You want to go first on prediction? Or you want me to go?
I'll go.
Okay.
I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be probably a pretty good game again. But I'm going to go with KC in this one. Yeah. I think they've been there before. They kind of know they've won, they've lost. Andy Reid's a smart guy, and we'll see if Nick Sirianni can match up to Andy Reid being in his first Super Bowl. But I'm going to give Reid, Mahomes, and KC the edge.
I'm taking the Chiefs 23, Eagles 17. And I'm taking the experience of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in this one to win.
Oh, dear. Was I supposed to make a score prediction?
You didn't have to. I just put one in there because I wanted to.
I'll do 27-23 KC.
27-23. For a second, I'm like, is it going to be a high-scoring game? Yeah. Will the top be let off around the third quarter? And I think that still might happen. I think it might be a 33-28 game or whatever. I think that's a possibility. But I'm going to go 23-17 because that's conservative. It sounds a little better for the Chiefs.
Usually Super Bowls end up being that low-scoring game anyways, right?
Oh, those boring the first quarter and second usually are like, what is happening?
Yeah, and then the fourth quarter comes along.
Blow off.
And it's like greatest Super Bowl ever. It's like, wow, that was one good quarter, really.
Yeah, exactly. Friends, don't forget put your Super Bowl prediction comments below. If you're following us on social media, put them on our page. We'll be posting all week long about Super Bowl. Before we move on from the NFL, we got lots of stuff in the NFL. What am I talking about? Some hot topics quickly. Which teams should be calling Derek Carr?
Any team that needs a QB. But
yeah.
Indy obviously should be calling him, but I don't think Carr is going to listen or pick up that phone because that team right now seems like a mess. Carolina would be an interesting spot with Frank Reich. Yeah, good offensive system might be able to help Carr out if they get a good running game there as well.
Anyone other than Jacksonville in the AFC South really should be calling.
Yeah, I don't think Houston's ready to win yet, so they're probably stay backed off on there for a bit. Yeah, Tennessee actually, I never even thought of that would be another good spot for Carr. Keep thinking Tannehill, but Tannehill's still kind of there, I guess.
Washington
would be good, but they mentioned that they're going to stick with Sam Howell.
With who?
Sam Howell, the rookie they drafted last year.
Why don't they let Heineke just play again until they find a good quarterback?
I would go with Carr then if you're going to stick with Heineke, though, if you can somehow get Carr.
Yeah.
Jimmy G's out there too, so someone's going to be paying him.
It better not be Pittsburgh, I'll tell you that much.
No, they got picked. Now they're happy there.
NFL coaching moves, some good ones, some bad ones. Well, in my opinion, I guess. Do you think there's one that shines out as really good?
I like the D'Amico Ryans one to Houston.
Yes.
I don't like that it's Houston, but I like the D'Amico Ryans. I don't trust that organization yet.
I think that's
a good organization.
That's a good decision right there. It's almost like a Winnipeg Jets decision to bring Bonus in. Someone who knows the market and appreciates a market and has been in the market and knows how to play the market. Not play the market, knows how to survive in the market. I think it's a great hiring. The best one for sure.
I think so too. I'm leery still of Houston treating it properly. They did give him a 6-year contract. So obviously they're going to give him a chance. There's no way they're firing him after 1 year like they've done for the last 2 seasons. So I think he'll do very well there. I mean, he came into that Niner defense with not totally a lot of experience, and that Niner D did not miss a beat from losing Salah. So I like him as a coach, and I hope he has success there.
I think Reich is not a good signing, and Sean Payton I don't think is a good signing. Whatever.
Sean Payton had some pretty good quarterback named Drew Brees, and only ended up managing to win 1 Super Bowl out of it. So, and missed, it wasn't very good in some seasons. So
I don't get it.
It's a lot of money. And now I do like how he said today in his press conference or in an interview that he will not allow any of Russell Wilson's personal staff at the facility or on the practice field. So starting off right there. It'd be interesting. And nobody wants to work in India apparently, or Arizona.
Well,
Carolina should just stuck with Steve Wilkes if you were gonna hire Frank Reich.
I don't know what they're doing there. Anyways. Sorry, Carolina fans. Don't forget to put your predictions down below of the Super Bowl. What was it again? I had Carolina 23.
Carolina.
The notes are moving too fast on the screen. Kansas City 23, Eagles 17. What did you have again?
27-23 for KC.
All right. Don't forget to put your predictions below. Let's move on to your Brickhead. You got a Brickhead?
Yeah, I'm going to give it out to Dana White.
Oh, what a clown.
Sorry, not only did this guy, slap his wife around New Year's, and obviously nothing's happened with that, and he's gotten scot-free in the media and everything like that.
Yeah.
But now he's bringing in this new power slap program, which is essentially 2 competitors slapping each other into submission.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, we watched Tua on the football field, go down with a concussion and have his hands up and kind of stuff. And everyone was shocked. But now you're watching this constantly, where you're trying to televise this on a TV show where guys are getting constantly slapped and knocked out like that.
Yeah.
I just find it's an odd source of entertainment for people. But Dana White, you get my Brickhead of the week.
Oh, that's a good Brickhead. Because he doesn't pay his fighters fairly.
No. I'm sure these guys are getting slapped. They're not getting paid enough either.
Joke. Oh, look at this. Concussed. Look at this. I'm not lying to you. I just pulled up my phone to look at a message, and this slap thing came out, and some guy got knocked out. He's holding a piece of foam behind his back. How stupid is this? I opened my phone because I got a text from Benny over here. Tom Brady. He retired. You want to talk about Tom Brady?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that now he's not coming to San Francisco anymore. But you know what? He left the door open a bit today, and he was on a podcast, and he said the future is not what does it say? Planned. So you know what? He might get an enticing phone call maybe for the Niners at some point and come back and play.
Shut up. Not you, him. Shut up. Shut up. Whatever. And Aaron
He's not
Rodgers,
going away. He's not going away.
Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he'll retire. He might end up somewhere else, but I could care less about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't think he's retiring, especially with Brady retiring. If Brady stays retired, he's not going into the Hall of Fame with Brady. He wants to probably have his own spotlight on him, not on Brady.
Go do some.
Going to the Jets.
Go do some shrooms. Ayahuasca or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, I'm nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, just hit that reset button. Hit that reset button, Aaron Rodgers. You got any shout outs?
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out. We were at this in Brandon this past weekend it's called the Tournament of Champions.
Yeah.
Different age groups and all that stuff. We were U13, and there was a kid there playing. He's 12 years old. His name is Athens Shingoose. And this kid was amazing. And it kind of, maybe we'll hear his name more in the next few years, but keep an ear out for this kid or an eye out for this kid. And if you can, go watch him play. Because he had superstar abilities. And to me, I would be surprised if he doesn't at least get drafted WHL and make it further. The kid had 32 goals in 4 games, took his team to a championship, and basically took him out there. But great hands, speed, release, man. It was fun to watch. I mean, not he was shooting on my kid who was the goalie, so that wasn't the greatest part. But just watching this kid, you see something special in him. So shout out to Athens Shingoose.
That's how you know it's a sincere shout out. The goalie's dad is giving the shout out. Shout out.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my shout out throughout February. There'll be a pattern of Black History Month. So I'm going to give a shout out to George Dixon, a boxing legend from Nova Scotia, probably one of Nova Scotia's greatest athletes. He was bantam, weight and featherweight boxer, dominated in the bantamweight division, became the first Black athlete to win a major world championship in any sport when he won the bantam title in 1892. Retired as a bantamweight champion without being defeated. And he's also considered one of the best featherweights of all time. So shout out Black History Month, George Dixon, also a Canadian, one of the best boxers of all time.
Right on.
Sheesh. Oh, and also he was credited in inventing, because he trained himself. He trained himself. He didn't have a trainer.
Wow.
Didn't have spars. So he kind of was credited with inventing shadow boxing, and also was one of the first people to use a boxing bag, and might have been the first.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So there you go. A little bit of
Yes.
history for you. We're going to educate you over here on Ray and Benny Talk Sports.
Learn something new every day.
Every day. Benny, you have anything to say to our friends?
You know what? Just thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget, subscribe, follow, leave us a comment, tell us what you like. Have a good week.
Subscribe. Not don't subscribe. Subscribe.
Yes.
Heck yeah, I almost swore. Thanks for joining us. And of course, to steal the famous words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it. Another edition of Ray and Benny Talk Sports. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.